The military has always been the last resort that the U.S. president has turned to. When you have a crisis of 9/11 proportions or an uprising inside the United States that cannot be contained by local police and so forth, or you have the need to go deter a major power, China, Russia, and so forth. But President Trump's got a very different concept. It is, in his mind, I think, that the military is there as an instrument for him to use however he sees fit to both centralize his own power at home and frequently as a weapon of first resort abroad. And we've seen that in recent times. So the at home part's pretty obvious. He is using the emergency powers of the presidency to deploy National Guard to cities around the country, mostly Democratic cities, but cities around the country where there is no noticeable emergency. There's crime, but in many of the cities he's deployed them to, including where I am right now, Washington, D.C., the crime levels have been going down. It's not like there's some sudden surge that required the presence of the National Guard. And we could debate why it is he's doing this, whether it is to establish that a federal force under his command can appear in these cities, whether it is to intimidate local leaders, whether it's to think ahead to the 2026 election. And the reason I'm saying that, Katie, is you may recall that during his election disputes in the election versus Joe Biden in 2020,
Right.
he called for the use of the National Guard to go out and seize voting machines. Now, he never actually did this, and he was sort of held back from his aides to do it because he believed, or so he said, that the vote had been tampered with. And his concept was have the National Guard deal with this. He couldn't get away with that. But there are some people who wonder if by normalizing putting the National Guard in cities, he's trying to set the predicate that the National Guard will be there in election times. We don't know this. We're just trying to figure out why it is you would want to use the National Guard more routinely in American cities.